getting ready to go into the grow room and harvest a little bit of some mushrooms, like the reishi, and we have some turkey tail that we're going to be loading. We're harvesting some mushrooms. We have some lion's mane that were top fruited and kind of left in here to do a second flush. And we harvested a bunch of chestnuts over the weekend, but there's a little bit left in here that we can utilize. So we'll just do a nice little harvest. Chestnut's really a nice mushroom. It just pops right off the block, and yeah, we get these beautiful clusters as usual. So there we go. We got a 2.8 pound cluster. Just pull off a nice head of lion's mane right there. This one could have gone a little bit longer, but it's at a prime condition right now to be utilized. And we have a little bit of cleaning to do on the bottom of it. Just use a little pair of scissors. Lion's mane is an easy mushroom to clean and harvest, and yeah, for the most part, it's a pretty well-rounded mushroom. It can be used in a lot of culinary applications as well as the medicinal. Then we have some oyster that we could load in. I'll just put a little bit of wax paper right over it to kind of just keep the mushrooms as fresh as possible. You too, take care. All right, so yeah, I'll get this cleaned up. And that's basically the little fresh harvest for now. I'll show you guys some of the lion's mane. So these were harvested over the weekend, or actually over the week, and we took them all to the farmer's market. I usually will top fruit them, and for the second flush, I'll fold the bag over and make a nice incision to let the lion's mane grow out of the side for the second flush, but I didn't get to these in time. I noticed that the lion's mane mushrooms were starting to form little fruit bodies, so I went ahead and just left them there to grow, and I'll go ahead and harvest these and use them as just a nice little miniature lion's mane mushroom fruiting body that can, I don't know, just be a nice little mushroom. These are grown off of an oak sawdust and wheat bran. I had a bunch of, this is a recipe intended for the shiitake mushroom, and I just had a bunch of these blocks left over from an inoculation day and a little bit of extra lion's mane spawn. So I just went ahead and inoculated them all with lion's mane. And here's just an example of after they're harvested. These ones were folded up and then sliced, and then we just get these nice, beautiful little heads of lion's mane, just great little size. And these are just 5-pound blocks, so this one will grow out for another day or two. And I've noticed I'm getting almost a pound of lion's mane mushrooms off of these little 5-pounders. So the lion's mane does like growing off the oak and wheat bran recipe as well, and it does just fine off of it. If you can't access the soybean hull pellets or any of the other supplements, you can kind of just experiment and find supplements that work with the mushroom. So there's a lot of stuff out there that works really well. You can get like rice brands, oat brands, wheat bran is what's used in this particular recipe. Then we also are doing some turkey tail. So I have a couple blocks in here growing out, for example. So yeah, this one was just sliced about a week ago, and we got the nice little formation of turkey tail mushrooms starting to grow out. So this is one that I'm actually excited to grow a lot more of. It's a really cool mushroom. It seems to colonize, it takes over the substrate lightning fast. It's a very aggressive colonizer. These blocks were inoculated, let's see, on the 6th of June. So yeah, second week of August, we're into fruiting. So it's a nice polypore mushroom. What I've noticed with a lot of the polypore mushrooms, like the turkey tail and the reishis, even the maitakes, is they seem to prefer more of a wood-based substrate compared to what we're seeing with like all the other gourmets, where we're doing like a 50% supplement or even a 20% supplement. So these perform much better with the more wood in their diet. So we'll load up a bunch of these today, and I'll kind of show how some of these cuts were made. But yeah, we're just getting some nice formations for the turkey tail, also known as Trametes versicolor, because it's known to grow out and get a bunch of different colorations throughout the mushroom. It's a super medicinal mushroom. highly regarded for the compound PSK, which has been shown to reduce like tumors and cancers, and there's a lot of research being done on it. It's the most researched medicinal mushroom. So this is not like an edible mushroom. It's one that we would use in teas, tinctures. You could brew it into different recipes and stuff like that to get the medicinal compounds from it. But yeah, that's really cool mushroom. Really excited to grow a lot more of it in the future and just be able to help people with it, because I know it's a good mushroom. Yeah, I think the turkey tail's really cool. I haven't really grown, I've grown it, but I've got a new recipe for it. I think it's working a little bit better. Then we have a Ganoderma multipallium, and this was just loaded within the last 5 days or so, 5 to 7 days. And the mushrooms are starting to it's been grown out in a high CO2 environment prior. So once it's loaded into the grow room, since it's the heightened O2 levels, so you'll start to get these nice little disc-like formations at the end of every antler. And they're responsible basically for really spreading out the spores, and the way that the conchs will develop is what they're referred to as, is they'll form really nice disc-like shapes, and there'll be thousands and thousands of pores on them, and that's where the spores are basically created. And reishi is really cool. You can, like, this is the multipallium, and it has like an orangish, reddish, yellowish hue, but some of the other reishis we grow, you can get lacquered reds or, black reishi, a lot of different colorations. So, and the next week or so, we'll leave this in the grow room, and then it'll probably get to the maturity that we're ready for to start harvesting it. And we'll load up all these today and kind of get the room ready for that, and then load up some turkey tail as well. I'm gonna zip this up for now. All right, man. We're using for grain is just like a wheat. You could use a winter wheat or a millet, white proso millet.
Okay.
But we inoculated.
You mix it too?
Yep, we mixed it. This is just like a combination of white proso millet and wheat. But it could just be plain wheat, or it could just, or the other way around. But this is just a nice combo. Once this is fully white, we can, basically it'll be fully colonized. We can still see some uncolonized portions of it. This was inoculated 4 days ago.
Do you have any one that is fully white the way it should be?
So different strains. So this is like a black pearl king oyster, and we can notice this one's a fully mature bag of spawn that was inoculated.
So this is what you're looking for. Your bag should look like this.
Yeah, and I have another strain in here too. So yeah, you can check it out.
Yeah, this is the final product.
Final product. So depending on the strain, I'll show you guys this too. I like the pink oyster, so you'll get like a pink hue. So depending on what mushroom you're growing, this is just ready to go. We'll probably use this to inoculate some substrate today.
Okay.
And so this one bag of grain spawn will become 30 of our blocks of these bags.
30 bags. Okay.
Yep, you'll pour a little amounts into each bag in front of the flow hoods in the lab, seal them up, shake them, and then we bring them out here to colonize, and then within 10 to 14 days, this should be ready to go into our grow room. And then 5 to 7 days after that, you have mushrooms to harvest.
All right, so the difference between inoculation and grow room is the temperature, basically, in the
yeah, because the incubation, you're gonna want more of a steady temperature. So, 68 to 72, no more than 78 degrees. Grow room can be a little bit cooler than incubation, because when mushrooms finish colonizing incubation, you move them to the grow room, the drop in temperature actually can be something that signals for mushroom production.
Okay, so it's like time to grow.
Yeah, it tells them it's time to go, the season's coming to an end, and it's time to produce mushrooms. That took 2 weeks for the grain to fully colonize. So this one was inoculated at the end of July, so the 27th. This is actually a little bit over colonized, so
so it's too much.
If it goes any further, it's going to be hard as a brick. But this is still good. We'll break this up today. Any time over 30 days, then the spawn can become kind of unfavorable, hard to work with, tough. Yeah. And then, like, for instance, we can we just go and break it up. Okay. And then we have our nice colonized grains. This is the wheat grain right here. Okay. And then we'll get it all broken up. Each of these clumps is broken up. And then, yeah, little amounts of this is poured into each of the sterilized bags in the lab. And those are left to colonize for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And then they go into the grow room.
Done.
We'll make these bags. And then tomorrow we'll inoculate them.
Okay. Do you have moisture in this room or no moisture?
No moisture. The moisture
no,
just
it's whatever's
evaporates.
inside,
Whatever's in the room. The grain spawn is colonizing inside of basically a sealed, sterile environment.
Okay.
It has a filter patch equipped just to allow gas exchange. The CO2 levels for incubation can be quite high, even as high as 20,000 or even up to 30,000 parts per million. But when we go to fruiting, we were trying to get into as close to the outdoor, simulate the outdoor environment to, get these mushrooms to grow. I don't know if I showed you guys these ones earlier. I got some little conch formations starting to come with some of these. So this one was just put in a few days ago.
Okay. So,
They kind of start to fan out at the top and get
so
these.
you cut the bag, put it in there, and it starts growing like that?
And it'll grow like this for a couple weeks, and then we can go ahead and harvest it and use it for medicinal purposes and, dry it out, and you can process it into a tincture or just as dried mushrooms for people to use in teas and use them yourself in teas.
This is good for what? Like cleansing and...
Yeah, this was it's good for cardiovascular health, good for the body organs, body tissue.
So you're actually like 100 years old, but you're using this stuff as
I wish, man. No, this stuff is ancient, though, as far as the medicinal use goes. It's been used in Eastern medicine for over 4,000 years. It's ancient, like Chinese and remedy, and a lot of. It's a good health tonic to utilize.
Okay.
Yeah. Then we got some.
From a cartoon.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like the colors. And
I know, right? It's
Yeah,
it's an artistic mushroom.
Yeah, it's like
That's,
somebody.
amazing.
created the fancy art.
I know, right? One of my favorites to grow. And then you guys saw the lion's mane in there.
We saw it, but we didn't see it.
Yeah, we'll harvest all that today.
Oh yeah?
Yep. At the end of the day, we'll get it harvested. We'll try to, and then we'll get the grow rooms going. And if not, whatever we don't do today, we'll do tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. Now when I came in, I looked at those.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
And then when taking a look at it when it's open, it's even better.
It does look even better, but yeah.
Has the desired height?
Yeah, when it gets to like the top of the bag.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to go ahead and get them into the fruiting mode. But yeah, I did a couple different recipes of it. These are all the same recipe up here.
Okay.
This is a different recipe. Oh no, same recipe too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the name of this?
Ganoderma multiphyleum.
Yeah,
It's a reishi mushroom. This is a Asian origin one.
Okay.
Comes from Asia, but I like growing the multiphyleum a lot. We have a Ganoderma sessile and a lucidum. Lucidum is the most researched reishi that you see. It's like the red lacquered one.
Okay.
But yeah, man. So that's it for this.